Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour.
What's going on here then? Got the wobbler out. Fuck is going on here? Don't tell me this is coronavirus. Nah, somebody must have barked off or something, man. Somebody's bus shot.
And this is an update of what's been going on in Birmingham and also in the Dudley area of the West Midlands. Yesterday we had 3 murders in Birmingham. One of them a double murder that happened in Spark Brook and the Moseley area of Birmingham. But the first one I'll talk about is the one today in the Russell Hall area of Dudley. A murder investigation has been launched after a man was stabbed to death in a Dudley street. 3 people, including 2 teenagers, have been arrested on suspicion of murder after the stabbing. Police and ambulance service were called to Springpool Meadow on the Russell Hall estate in Dudley yesterday. They found a 19-year-old man who has not yet been named with a stab wound to his back shortly after 7 p.m. Members of the public rushed to his aid in a desperate attempt to save his life, and the emergency services arrived, but he died at the scene. A 20-year-old man and teenagers aged 16 and 15 years old were detained overnight and spent time in custody today. It is the 4th fatal attack in the West Midlands in 24 hours. DCI Jim Monroe for West Midlands Homicide Police said, "I am appealing for anyone who saw what happened yesterday to get in touch." Dudley Police said their thoughts are with the family of this awful incident and recognised the wider impact on the communities. West Midlands Police Ambulance Service said upon arrival they found a patient, a teenage male, in a critical condition. Staff quickly administered advanced trauma care on the scene, but unfortunately, despite their best efforts, he passed away. This is the same area where 2 men were murdered, double crossbow murder, when a cannabis factory was being robbed and resulted in the death of 2 men. So the case is still very early, and I'll definitely give you an update on what goes on with that case. In the first murder in Birmingham yesterday in Spark Brook, a Somalian man was found collapsed in a property in Ladypool Road. Police launched a murder investigation after a male was found with stab injuries in a multi-occupancy house, otherwise known as a house share, becoming more popular nowadays due to the housing crisis. He suffered knife injuries and the air ambulance was called, but the victim was pronounced dead before he was taken on board. They have not identified him, but the detectives from the homicide have launched an investigation to find out who is responsible. And I've got some live footage from the scene that shows the seriousness of the situation. They had double tape up on the road as well, and I'll be going down there later to try and get a bit more footage and to see what the general feeling is in the area. So I've got to send my condolences to the family of both of them victims, and it shows how knives are being used so much more nowadays, and we've definitely got a big problem with it in our city. In the double murder investigation in Moseley on the 16th of March yesterday, 2 women were stabbed at 11 a.m. in the morning. Police were called to a house in Belle Walk in Birmingham, and a woman aged 43 suffered stab injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene. A second woman aged 52 was also found at a house next door with serious injuries, and despite best efforts of medical staff, died shortly after. A 40-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder. The police have said only that they believe it to be a domestic related incident, and they believe that they have the suspect in custody. And it was only the other day that I was covering the story of Hashim Khan, who was killed in Spark Hill by his own cousin in a dispute over land. In August last year, he stabbed him in the living room of his house. He also stabbed several other family members during this attack as well. And sadly, this seems to be ticking all them sort of boxes. It seems to be a very similar situation. Maybe not the same sort of subject like property, different land and stuff, but it definitely seems like it's a very personal attack. To kill 2 women in their own home is a very rare occurrence, luckily. So I thought this was definitely something that everybody needed to know. I've had a lot of people tweeting me, a lot of people sending me these stories, and I thought I'd just give you an update on what was going on, even though it's very early. I'm going to try and find out a bit more information a bit later on and try and speak to some of the family as well. So please don't forget to turn your notifications on to keep updated with all of the developments. I really appreciate you joining me. Don't forget to follow us online as well to send stories or to make any corrections as well. I really appreciate that. Peace.